Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna call the meeting to order at 5:34. Why don't we go around the room and state who is here, starting with you, Chad.
Chet LaSalle,
Laura Robertson.
Tony Doherty,
Carol Carey.
Jeff Corbin.
Okay, great. So the first item is approval of the April 10 meeting minutes. So did anyone have any comments? I had a few, but I want to make sure.
They were mostly done by AI, so they weren't able to identify the people as well, but
Okay. Did anyone have any?
He was absent, so, well, here's one on line 21, Mr. Blom. We don't have a Mr. Blom, right? So that's a Ms.
yeah.
That's a Ms. Blom.
Okay,
Line 21
yep.
minutes.
I have some on page 2.
Go.
Line 51, Ms. Matuzik and acting chairwoman Carey discussed that the research center previously partnered in bird data collection was no longer active. So the GE Balltown Road facility partnered with the GE Research Center. So I don't know if I don't even know if we need that sentence, to be honest.
Oh, okay, we could just
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, just take it out.
take it out and just say the council discussed the glass roof and asked, because that's not really pertinent. to the-
Yeah, that's fine.
On like line 16 through 62, the tree council suggested the landlord either request no trees from the council or return with an alternative planting plan. We said that they could request no trees.
I think I said that they could
Yeah.
come here with a plan that says, we have no trees and see how that went. But I don't have a lot of faith in it. I mean, they could come to the tree council with a plan that has no trees.
Should we say that or should we, or I guess these are the meeting minutes, so because I didn't remember that we could either, because we're definitely not gonna say they can have no trees.
Well, why don't we just say the tree council suggested they return with an alternative planting?
Yes,
plan?
yes. Then I had on line 82 on the next page.
Because it's actually more likely if they're gonna do a no planting plan that they go back to the planning board. I don't know why we did it for the. No, go ahead.
Oh, hello. Drop off children, everything about that. I think that's
Okay. We're just going through the meeting minutes right now from April.
Sorry.
I had a comment on line 82. Ms. Robinson stated she would try to get them printed and acting chairwoman Carey stated an art teacher and students create 6 to 8 Labor Day posters that it says she will be hanging. I've had the art teacher would hang up at town hall.
Which one is that? 80?
82, line
82.
82. Because I thought, sounded like it was me that was going to do that.
How about just the Arbor Day posters to hang at town hall?
Oh,
Something.
yeah.
That's
That's language.
I like that. Then I had on 101, you would look for the plastic containers versus contains. Okay. Then on line 107, there was discussion on whether or not to plant a donated tree as the Arbor Day tree. And then on line 113, where it says EG, it should be ECOS, ECOS versus EOS. On the next page, on line 21, when Ms. Bloom stated the master gardeners, I would probably capitalize the M on masters. On line 127, I was gonna review the appendices versus you, so I have Ms. Carey to review all the And this is.
Got it.
And on 126, it's a Mr.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. There's a Ms. There's a Ms. Lassell later on.
Oh, there is? I didn't know.
On 140, I had, the council stated that some residents with existing trees,
Which one? 141?
what, just 140, the
Oh.
council.
Oh, yeah, I see.
144 is where we have Ms. Lassell.
Mm,
And 149.
Oh, in 149, yes. Okay. 154, I would say they would like planted near the Aqueduct Rowing Club. That's our name in Aqueduct Park. So.
Yep.
And then on the final page, I have on 162 and 163. Well, acting chair Perry stated she is still working on the day of service and would like to schedule a visit to determine,
Tree planting it.
tree planting at the splash pad. Yeah. That's all I had. Did other people? Did you
no,
go?
no, good. Thank you.
No, good.
Okay. Then does somebody want to make a motion to approve the minutes? Maybe. Okay. Second. Tony second it. All in favor, say aye.
Yes.
Okay. Most then. Okay.
Wait. Yeah.
Situation.
Oh, no, that's fine.
At the end of the very.
Make it
Oh,
need
yeah.
two zeros.
Yeah.
At some indeterminate minute in that hour.
Oh, wait.
Oh, maybe that is true, actually. I probably need to look at what that time was.
Yeah, because we
Yeah,
started
it's
at
not
5:30.
six. Yeah. So I have to figure out what that time was.
No, it doesn't look like there's any privilege of the floor right now.
No, we didn't get it for this part.
So now we have the new business.
Okay, my computer's just running really slow, but while I'm loading it, we've talked about this before, GE Vernova upgrade. If you like them. I have two planting plans, so, and we talked about this a little before, but one is a guard track that kind of has planting plans, because they're increasing the pavement, so it kind of has planting plans in their stormwater management areas. And the other one is the patio that we were looking at the renderings of in the last meeting. And that has plantings both in the stormwater ponds, like Amanda had that question, and it also has plantings throughout the patio. So I can bring up those lists and we can just look at them. Just hold on a second. Like for the guard shack, they're proposing white oak, scarlet oak, white spruce, sweet pepper bush, spice bush, American black elderberry, nodding onion, and pink milkweed.
What was the nodding onion?
Nodding onion. Yeah, that I'm pretty sure it's native. And it's really nice
Onions don't
plant.
sound like a tree.
Oh, no, those aren't
These
trees.
are-
Okay.
Yeah.
Plantings.
So the trees are just the oaks and the
Oh, yeah.
spruce, the pepper bush, spice bush, and elderberry are all kinds of bushes, and then those are like the perennials. Yeah, they also have like big blue stem grass, switchgrass, and then-
Native grasses without me having to ask.
Well, I think they're getting used to what we asked them for.
And they're trying to make this very logical, right?
They are.
Yeah.
Those are in the detention pond, so they're only talking, I think 3 trees. Oh, no, 7 trees, sorry. 9 trees. Sorry, 6 white spruce, and then 2 scarlet oak and 1 white oak, so 9 trees, and then the rest is bushes and, a lot of milkweed.
Oh,
Which is
good.
excellent.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
That's that time.
So
And they can do the Rebecca.
Incarnata, I think, is the swamp milkweed, isn't it, Jeff? Do you know that off the top of your head?
What did you think of?
There's a bunch of different milkweeds, but I think the Incarnata one is the swamp one.
Yes, according to Google. It is.
So that's probably why they have so many. They're gonna put them in the, and then they'll
That
have
would
good,
be
butterfly habitat.
And I mean, they can do coneflowers and Rebecca, the black-eyed Susans, those are all native and they're pretty.
They probably couldn't put them in the detention
I
pond.
don't know.
Yeah, but around it, they probably could. You wanna add that note to the bird check plan? You guys can put it up now.
When is this planting happening?
This summer, well, probably they would plant the actual plantings in the fall, because it's really hard to plant stuff in the middle of the summer, unless it keeps raining like this.
Had my roof replaced yesterday, so I can finally breathe deeply every time there's massive rain in the
Yeah.
morning.
Tomorrow's supposed to be something too.
Oh, yeah,
Another big rain.
flooding rain. Got flash flood warnings.
Dirty, so flooded.
We can't, it's become Jurassic Park. Because it's just never dry enough now.
Red buds I got from Margaret, I'm just having to water, we're just.
Planted their Arbor Day seedlings, they should be quite good. Okay.
Does GE invite us out to see this when it's all done?
Well, they can. The guy who
Would be nice.
who works on it, he's always very open. So this is the planting fan that I was just talking about. The guard shack is right here. Oh, why? Okay, I don't know why it's doing something different than normal, but that's okay. So yeah, here's the guard shack here, and then this is where they're putting all the plantings that I was just listing. So the bigger ones are the spruces and the oak trees. Then the smaller ones are the spice bushes, and then those like hatched in areas are all milkweed.
And so this is that the new area that they're doing or is?
No, this is actually, so this planting is literally to offset a guard shack that's already being put on existing
Gotcha.
pavement.
Okay.
So that's kind of like bonus planting.
And where is the,
So the patio is up here.
got-
Let me just do the oversight again, because it's been a little bit since we looked at it. Here, for those of you guys who haven't ever been back there, this is Balltown Road. This is where that monument sign is, and then there's a really long road back to GE. It used to be the GE Training Center. Now it's GE Renova. They have a little bend in the road. This is where they're putting the guard shack with the extra plantings over here.
Okay.
And then,
I see.
this guy here is the new GAC building that you guys approved the planting on, I don't know, not even that long ago. And then the patio actually goes right here.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this guard shack looks pretty good, but maybe we want to add, and here's the planting for the, okay, so there's two drawings. Here's the planting for the patio. So like right now, there's a scattering of trees here, like, I think you said 6 of them have to be removed. It's mostly lawn. There's a couple of trees planted here and there in the lawn. But they're planning to plant like something like 30 trees or 60 trees or something, so it's definitely gonna
And
help.
big trees, they were
Big
trying to
trees.
get the big trees.
Nice.
That is nice.
So we're talking,
Not a maple or burn.
let me see, you can see in there?
What type
I'm
of
not gonna
trees?
do the screen.
Amelanchier, betula, so, serviceberry, gray birch, shagbark hickory, eastern red cedar, tulip poplar, American hawthorn beam, American linden, New Jersey, and then those are the shrubs.
Yeah, so all of them are trees that we like,
Okay.
and they're native too, again.
Mm. Good. So do they need, what do they need from us? Do they need an approval? Yeah.
Yeah. If we wanted to make suggestions, or we could approve. And then here's the planting plan for the wetlands, and these are not trees, but still good choices, more milkweed, marsh marigold, boneset. Oh, I love boneset.
Bone vet?
Boneset.
Oh.
Boneset is cool.
Oh. Right.
Little blue stem. Yay.
Now they had some of that invasive,
They have a little bit of Phragmites, which I've talked to Matt about removing. It's just a small patch.
Yeah.
Mostly it's cattails.
yeah,
Yeah.
are they doing it?
Cattails? I mean, they're probably like a special order. I've
Yeah.
never seen them like before.
I know.
It might depend on how much water was there. Like if they're planting a lot of those things are wet but not submerged, but I think cattails are really.
Yeah, cattails can do. This is a retention pond, so it fills up with water during rain and then it
Mm.
slowly trickles out.
Okay.
So it doesn't have standing water. But the plants have to tolerate occasional
Yeah.
flooding. And then we're doing a lot of planting.
That's great.
If they really do this and they maintain it, this is another possibility for recognition.
Yeah,
stuff, because that's a lot of.
Yeah.
and yeah, these and Carol, this has hyssop, blue star, milkweed, shooting star, purple coneflower, asters. Virginia creeper. The only thing
Virginia
I didn't,
creeper,
isn't that
that's
a,
invasive.
is it?
It
It
is,
sounds like it is.
well, it's a ground cover that will certainly spread where you don't want it to, but it is a native northeastern plant.
Oh, it is native?
But we have it in our yard, and to me, it's like poison ivy. People can be allergic to it. I am very allergic to it.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. And so is my husband. It's in the springtime.
It doesn't play well with others.
Yeah, it kind of creeps up and
That
strangles
actually-
others.
Let me see where they're putting it.
Yeah, I'm very used to Virginia creeper.
Is Virginia creeper the one that has 5 leaves?
Yes.
Yes. It's very pretty. It's nice and bright red in the
It
fall.
makes bright red and
But when you're trying to pull it down, you really have to watch when you're doing it.
I know, where's PQ? Oh, there it is.
And I finally looked it up and it said, you know, that people can be allergic to it.
Yep, it says the sap from the vine irritates some people's skin.
Yes.
We actually might.
And the berries
We
are
can talk to them
toxic
about
to humans.
Picking a different vine.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Do they need vines or could we?
it's fine. So
Oh, it is.
this is where they're putting it, and I guess I'd have to pull up the other thing, but it looks like it's going along this
Yeah.
here, so it must be going along something.
See if we can
It's going
ask them
around this
for an
corner.
alternative plant for that.
Yeah, we could.
And you don't want bittersweet, obviously. It's bittersweet at an Arbor Day up at the Saratoga thing several years ago. No, and now I'm tearing it all out and it's just it's choking all the trees. I know, I was surprised that, well, I didn't know at the time and they were selling it.
A lot of times we bring these plants because they're rapid cover. And then we realize that that's,
Yeah,
we can't make it stop when you need it to stop.
yeah.
Yay, it's aggressive. Oh no, it's aggressive.
Virginia creeper's the only one I have a question.
Okay.
If there's-
I'm not exactly sure what that is, if it's the side of a building or if it's like a fence.
I could see that they want to do something to cover it. But I think there may be other things that they,
It just, in my experience, it very well may wind up in a few years be pushing into all these other nice things that they have.
everything.
Yeah, that's great.
With, we know another native vine.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I guess it depends on what the purpose is. We can just point out to them that we're,
No,
Yeah.
we don't recommend this. All right, we'll just say we don't recommend this one.
And then if they come back saying, hey, what would you recommend? Then we can frantically Google.
I know, it's really hard to So I think it,
Bunch grasses are nice.
it says a decorative wall,
Bunch grasses are nice.
bunch grasses.
But I think they're trying to cover a wall with a vine, right?
Well, it says decorative metal plant as your type A. I don't know what that is. Oh, they have swings. It's cool.
Well, we can just raise that concern.
Yeah.
And see if they have something else that would.
So we'll just say, cause very spreading and some allergies.
Similar to poison ivy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Okay. Do we want to see, let's bring up a wider view of this project. So we like the species. Now the question is, can they fit them anywhere else? Right? This is a slightly bigger overview. That's the next one. So that area is the area where the patio is going. Over here is where the stormwater plants are, and then here is all the patios. You can see they're removing like 1, 2, 3 trees. Or this might be more than there might be like 4 or 5 there. But I think he said 6 trees total. And then the other area of planting is over here. So I went there. It was a lovely site. I don't know it that well. Like you might be able to fit, but there is a lot of forest around too. Like it might be nice to have it, but you could probably fit some over here. I don't know how much. And we know that they're going to be doing a ton of planting this way because this is the DAC building down here.
What about at the Balltown entrance?
Yeah, they do have some trees there, but you could probably put more for sure.
I mean, you could line the road a little bit, but I don't know if they want to do that. It's a long road back. This curved area here, we were trying to make that a bobolink area, and we had a National Audubon Society come out and help us for a couple of years.
That's cool. Did you ever see a bobolink there?
I'm trying to think if we did, but it was the right habitat.
Because we get them at Blatnick Park now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it was around that same time that they were doing the project there that we had them come
Yeah.
out.
Cool.
And we had to cut down, you know, it was like a succession and it was getting a little too.
Yeah, you do have to maintain an early succession
Right.
field.
So,
Yeah, I mean, this is where they mow. I can probably bring that up on Google. Actually, better. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of property there. So- But it's nice that it's mainly,
It's nice that it's what?
it's mainly, undeveloped, you know, most of it, so. So you do see deer and turkey and everything up
Nice.
there.
And there's I mean, if they're continuing to try to maintain it as early successional grassland, like that kind of bobolink habitat is actually rarer than forest is.
It's
Yeah, I don't know if they're still I doubt they're still maintaining.
actually mentioned to them that they're gonna need to mow it in order to maintain it at the planning board meeting that time.
Okay.
But maybe
We were
we should
doing
have them
about
come
every
up with
separate-
like a habitat management plan or something.
Cause we got a few. For. You know, for the efforts we were doing with maintaining the habitat too.
So this is entrance. I think you could fit more trees.
Yeah, you could.
Well, they may not like this, but you know, it would be neat to have like elms or something arching over the road.
Oh.
No, I agree. That would be very cool.
But
winery.
I mean, the research center used to have that and it was just beautiful. And then when they did an expansion, they took down the whole alley way of elms. They were busting it. And even the people working were very upset about it. But it would be neat if it, but I think we're asking.
Google was very good and didn't drive down the private road, so we can't go down it. So it didn't show up, but I mean, we can mention it, like, so even if they just start a little bit at a time, like planting a tree-lined road down from
Yeah.
Baldwin Road.
Yeah, yeah. I guess we can always ask.
If we ask for a lot, then they'll probably get back with some.
And they could use the Liberty elms that are, because that was the problem at the research center. They were all dying, but they had PhD chemists, so they were all trying different ways to inject the trees and save them. Yeah, there were a lot of
Love
experiments going on with
So much.
those trees.
So awesome. Okay, can we think of anything else that we want to say? I do feel like because we already commented, they took our comments from the DAC building and brought them right over to this building.
So do we have to vote or anything, or do we just?
I would say because the planning board required you to approve the planting plan, that you should vote on it.
Somebody.
One second.
Okay, all in favor of approving the plan with the amended comments that, okay. Great. So next is the 390, 3,900.
Here we do
Yeah.
not need to take action on yet. This is the first time, oops, I just love the art so much. I'm putting it everywhere.
I think we should absolutely make a calendar of that. That's amazing.
It's so good. Some of you may remember, we did look at this once before, a couple years ago, when it was a different project. I mean, it looks very similar, but they actually shrunk the parking lot a little. So they don't have a full planting plan yet. This is conceptual, but they're adding the trees that are like colored in would be added. And oh, I should have put in existing conditions in here.
This is where again?
This is 3900 State Street. So it's the Kia Autoship dealer right by South Fagan and South Amherst Ave. Last time you looked at it, actually, this is probably good to do anyway because I didn't put the existing conditions in here. You really wanted them to, your main recommendation on this project was to save the spruce. There's a really, really big.
Right. Is that the one, the eagle?
Yes, that's the one where the lady sent us a picture of the eagle in it. And actually, when I did a site walk, an eagle flew overhead, although he didn't land in the tree. So that's the Kia. Then over here is the south. There we go. Is that big tall one. I think that the birds of prey and eagles like it because it's
Quite large.
large. So the last time we looked at it, we actually had him bump the parking lot out to protect this guy.
Okay.
Which they do not include in this plan. So I think to be consistent with ourselves, we should probably make that a primary recommendation. of theirs. When we did the site walk, these are Norway maples, so we were more interested in them saving
The actual
the
native.
spruce. No, Norway maples are invasive.
I'm saying, like, you're saving the actual spruce, not.
Yeah, well, like,
We're not as thrilled with the Norway.
it's actually easier for them to save the Norway maples, and they have offered to do it multiple times. But the one I think that is the most beneficial habitat to the area is the spruce because it's emergent and it has a lot of good habitat. So I'll put that down. There aren't a whole lot of trees on the site now. My computer's. There's a single family home here that they're proposing to remove. The last time you saw it, they were also proposing to remove this one. They are now saving it. And, so less trees have to come down. Then they're also installing a sidewalk all along the road and putting street trees there. Complete Streets actually, because Complete Streets loves street trees. It's part of a complete street because it's the vertical. They actually asked for them to put the trees between the sidewalk and the road again because, and also it shades people who are walking on the sidewalk. You guys are very synergistic board sometimes. Because we like street trees and they like street trees, but yeah, so they actually already made a request that they bring street trees down here.
Okay. But we're not at a point of approving a planting plan or anything.
No, because it hasn't even been submitted yet.
Okay.
And I should have put the existing conditions, so, but, I mean, I think it would definitely at this point, if you guys are comfortable, we would say, yeah, you gotta save the Norway spruce again.
Yeah.
So where is that on this
Something
diagram?
spruce.
The Norway spruce on this diagram is like right about here.
It's an spruce.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think.
And then we want to say add more street trees. Do we want to say what?
I would say they could add more street trees. They are, since I've actually didn't have these before, South Amherst, they're adding street trees. I don't know if there's any state street in that. I think they might have trees on state street. But yeah, I think we should always add it.
So adding this down on the bottom part, adding street trees is still keeping those three that are next to their parking lot, or are they moving them over? So it'll be like a double row of trees there, or what?
You mean these guys?
Yes.
Let's see, we have some up there.
Oh, yes.
Let's see
Yeah,
rows
yeah.
too. Will they fit?
Yeah, I think you could do a double row. Would
Nice.
you recommend the double row?
Double row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do we know what do we want that's native that we want to kind of
Mm.
recommend as
Oh, yeah,
street
that's good.
trees?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can pull it up.
Well, we need a like that go-to list.
Mm.
Yeah.
Are there poles there that run down there so the trees get in the?
We did a
Take
site
over.
visit and there are poles, but we think that they are all inactive and they're taking down the single family homes. And
Oh,
it'll be a private property, so we think that they can actually put the power under the ground now.
that'd be pretty.
And so they can pull those poles down. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
we could do,
Good.
I think we could offer the big trees.
So very unsightly when they cut out parts of the trees.
Yeah,
without-
yeah.
we gotta-
And then you get things being very unbalanced.
Yes.
So when you have
Mhm.
any sort of
Yep.
So it'd be, I think, a pretty big improvement, cause like right now, there's no.
Oh, yeah, that
And I
part
think they
is
could save
just-
this one.
There's plenty of room.
They would put a lot of trees, like
Oh,
we
that'd
talked
be
about this, but
excellent. Oh,
yeah,
that would
there's
be-
really not that many trees.
Oh, yeah,
um,
oh, that's on Fagan though, that's not on.
No, this is on
State.
Amherst where the parking lot will go. And yeah, actually,
Oh,
or I mean on
that's-
Fagan. Yeah,
yeah.
no, you're right.
Mhm.
That's Fagan. And then, yeah, Amherst is also improvement because if you come over here, yeah, there really aren't that many.
Yeah, I
trees.
know,
Yeah.
it really neat.
We
it
need
needs-
to,
it needs-
we need to focus down here a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, look at this.
I know.
There's nothing. So they're proposing a whole line of trees down
Oh,
here too.
So what do we want to suggest?
So these guys are gonna have to be small because they're under the power line. Mhm.
I'm looking redbuds right now.
Oh, they're,
Love
because they're looking so
I know.
beautiful, aren't
Yeah.
they? They are so beautiful.
I have a very fire stick in my yard that is.
But does that then attract?
Diversity pink stick.
It's sort of an eat. I said, if it's a crab apple though, does it attract like deer and other things that
It
come to
can.
eat it by the street? It
can.
might not be, I suppose on this street isn't so bad, but not on certain like state
Mhm.
streets, right?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I don't think, you think the deer would go down State Street?
No,
Yeah,
I don't know. They're everywhere. Deer.
They are.
They have like no place to live anymore.
I know.
Yeah, it's true.
So what do people think? What are suggest? We want to say redbud or crabapple or
Like
service
the
berry or-
dogwoods or something. Some of them.
So
Some of
as
the
long-
dogwoods though don't do well in bright sun though, right? Aren't they diff-
They have to be salt tolerant because
Sorry.
Yeah, everything has to be salt tolerant at the edge of the road.
Yeah,
So who do we have that's salt tolerant?
It would be nice to have a list that says.
Mark, he's doing that. We
Oh,
need
what-
Margaret.
Oh, yeah.
Please do that. Actually, she might have even done it for you.
Oh, nice.
So salt tolerant for the airs highlighted near snow plow piles. Canadian serviceberry, eastern red cedar, oak.
Too big. Oak's too
Too
big.
big for that.
Okay, wait, no, so no, that's cool. Birch, so birch trees are okay, magnolia trees are okay, cherry trees are okay. Serviceberry. It does not look like redbuds.
Well, cherries or serviceberry or you said
Birch.
dogwood,
Cherry, she said.
Yeah, so smaller ones, birch,
birch.
magnolia. Well, how big does magnolia get? I'm not
20 feet.
I don't know. I've seen
Yeah.
some.
I'm at that-
gigantic ones.
I'm at that table.
Sweet
But they
bay
can get very
magnolia.
wide.
They can get wide. Yeah, I'm sure there's all the oaks
Are too big.
are too big, but they are salt tolerant. So birch, cedars.
I think the birches would be good because you don't have to worry too much about the spread out into the roadway.
Yeah.
And
But
some
our,
How much leaf cover do they provide? I mean, if you're talking about people walking on the street and getting protection, birch don't really have much of a
no,
canopy,
the
do
problem,
they?
so the problem is
people birch
the-
are great.
canopy wise, the larger canopy for the walkers, but the smaller so that we're not cutting into the roadway. Like,
I know.
Well,
Because you're not gonna get a lot.
paper
more
birches can
Oh,
get 65 to 70 feet tall though.
Which can,
Paper, that's gray.
What was some of
I
the
think they
birches?
might get too tall, the birches. Oh, well, no, gray is only 20 to 40, so that might be fine.
Cherry, I'm looking at right here, about, reach up to 25 feet.
Yeah, so that's about similar.
but that's not a native, right?
No,
You had mentioned.
Yeah, it's just originated from Japan.
that was our gift from Kulaks, wasn't it?
Double painted
yeah,
glass.
that's so pretty.
I know, they're so pretty.
Yeah. Why don't we
It's
try?
very hard for Laura to say no.
I know.
to. This is cherry. Bay birch is also drought tolerant, which
Well, we
Yeah,
could
especially
do
with
that.
the median, there's not a ton
Do you
of
have any?
space for water to
Do you have
penetrate down
any?
the roots, but I think the birch is.
No, yeah, this level, I'm not.
I feel like both gray birch and serviceberry show up. So we could offer those
we could offer
two.
those two.
Decide where we could have really
And
big ones.
magnolia we
Maybe
could do, right?
we could, yes.
And those are still not.
I'm not actually asking. This is actually the magnolia that we gave away, the Sweet Bay.
Mhm, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that one is the smallest, 10 to 35.
Are you showing that? Oh,
You want me to show it?
sure.
That was another one.
So pretty.
Like, what color flowers? I said, I think they're pretty white. She goes, okay, but how do I make it turn pink? And I'm like, that's
Get a,
not.
get a different tree.
I'm not like, get a hydrangea.
Change your pH, get a whole different tree. My partner found a tree growing in his yard, it's a little sapling. He's like, I don't even know what this is. So I just snapped a picture and got it. I'm like,
Yeah, I think Sweet Bays are different than the normal
"Great,
ones.
because it's pH sensitive. It tastes like
These are flowers.
Star magnolia in our yard, which is beautiful.
Oh, what?
A star magnolia. It's a
Oh,
little
with star
lighter.
magnolia, yes.
It's nice, like sort of thick leathery leaf. Oh, I love it. Yeah, we can put it down.
yeah. It's good.
See,
Okay.
well, even like lilacs, right? They're native and that would
Yeah.
add some sort of,
That'd be fun.
and they're low, yeah.
But are they salt tolerant?
That's not on mark. Yeah, I'll show you guys marker stuff.
Mm.
Um, This is the salt.
Can you
color.
send that to us?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
forward it to you guys.
Yeah, so we,
Yeah,
So
these are all, oh, she
she
has
sent me
lines.
two because we were worried about both drought and salt tolerance.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see it. Wait, let me see if I can get it. Oh, it does.
Tupelo. That's too big though,
Yeah.
right?
But we could suggest black tupelo and the oak trees for the Las Vegas where there's no power.
Okay.
I think that's a good idea. Get some nice big
Big-
towering ones.
Yeah, these are the shrubs. Although they're not like, I mean, serviceberries aren't shrubs. And honestly,
They're shrubbish.
sumacs can get really big.
yeah.
So for vegan, we can say tupelo and oaks. Yeah, and then she did. This was when she was researching this for the Niskayuna school headquarters on Balltown Road.
Mhm.
Then she has the drought tolerant list too.
This is what?
This is the
Drought,
drought
okay.
tolerant. In Maples. See, there is some overlap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gray birches
Mhm.
overlap. Hackberry, I think.
Tupelo,
Oh,
yeah.
red cedar. Oh yeah, tupelo overlaps.
Mhm.
It's
Sycamore,
fine.
Black
sycamore
cherry does too.
could do that.
Oh yeah,
Sycamore.
sycamores.
Oh, yeah.
And
We recommend everything.
We just love trees.
ooh, that's grass. Those are hard to find enough. Okay, so is that pretty good on that one?
Sure.
We'll tell them save the Norway spruce again. That's just a continuation of our last estimate. We think there should be the double row of sweet tree on Fagan of street trees. And then we'll recommend for Amherst, gray birch, shrewsbury, sweet gum, sweet bay, magnolia. And for Fagan, we can recommend tupelo, oaks, or sycamores.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice.
Sounds
Oh,
good.
that sounds good.
Nice.
that's all I have.
Okay, so next, we have discussion items, Arbor Day tree names. So
Oh yeah.
at the Arbor Day, we
I
had
love this.
a list of when people suggested names for our white oak.
I love all of them.
So
Funny, it was like, I like Chet's response to the email. When you said I vote for Chet. I know, I know. Funny, I mean, because you know,
So we could do this either way. We had told people that they could vote at Niska Day,
Yeah.
our top choices.
Yes.
We should pick the top choice.
Yes.
Yes, we should narrow it down to like
Yeah.
3 to 5.
With 3, I think we said 3. So,
Okay,
because. you
yeah,
know,
either
some-
way, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Betty White Oak.
I
Oh,
love this. Hey,
That was me.
the top was, those top 3 are all favorites.
So we go.
Very creative.
Looking for.
Perfect. I love that.
7, I think, are all mine.
Two. So we got 2 Oakleys and 2 Robins.
I think those top 3 are by far my top 3. I love them so much.
I like Chester too though.
Chester.
And I like
Chester's one of our
focus.
favorites.
So we don't even have to have 3, you know, people won't remember.
Mhm.
So we could come up with what we think. Well, Chester, it sounds like people like.
Yeah.
So why don't we do
Throw
Chester?
that in there.
Should we do the ones where we have 2 submittals? I love that.
Necessarily, because for all you know, it's like 2 people in the same family submitting it or something like
I think so.
balance time.
Well, they would have, well, it
It's a
wasn't the
Robin.
same handwriting, but it could have been.
Well-
It would have been 2 people from the same.
How do we want to do this?
Please put Betty White Oak on it. though.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
huge.
so is Annie.
Annie
Annie
Oakley.
I was really into this.
You all couldn't wait to come over and start wearing. For you. Oh, funny.
Wait for that to monetize.
What, you know?
Funny.
So, just evening before, I was thinking, okay, if nobody has names, I've got to come up with names.
Yep. It's funny.
So what do we have so far?
I wrote down Chester and Betty White Oak.
Okay,
Sir Quirkus.
You want to do
Sir
I like
Quirkus.
the Latin,
Okay.
not the Latin.
I like the first two as well.
okay, please.
I mean, we could have 5. That's not terrible, right?
It's not terrible. Look, at the very least, everybody who comes up to the booth in Niska Day is gonna get a chuckle.
That's
out of
right.
it.
More
Yep,
funny puns.
Like,
The world is better with more
whatever
fun.
we do that makes people feel happier to see us and more engaged to see us is good for us. Is
Yeah,
good for our work.
Betty White Oak, Sir Quirkus, Annie Oakley, and Okie Dokie.
I think that's a good
I
buy.
think that's good.
You know, I was thinking, like, I don't know exactly how we could do it, but once he gets a name or she, I feel like we should put a little sign out there somehow that says hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's the thing.
Agreed.
We can make something. I know somebody, somebody who has a CNC machine. I'll just show up and be like,
Even if it's just like I mean, yeah, I mean, even if it's like a lawn sign that we just put down in the ground and in Winchester, was named at Niskuna Arbor Day 2025.
Yes, I have the honor of being the first named tree in the town of Niskuna. Dun, 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 dun.
I take up greenhouse gas emissions and I make your house cooler. I'll give you some good shade or something
I
like that.
think that.
I love that. It's like talking to
I
you every
love
time you drive by.
This is like, I don't know if you heard in Great Britain, they did this with their, a boat. And
Oh.
they-
No, what did they
boat
do?
face.
Yes, we should actually, we should have Okie McOakface.
They're both Okie McOak.
but
Bodie
it was,
McOakface.
it was open up and it was a very
It was a
Gen Z
military-
thing to do.
Yeah,
And so that became that. Have you ever seen the plow naming contest?
Oh,
That's where it came.
yeah, well, yeah, Bodie boat face was the Great Britain. And this is like a military boat and they have. Bodie.
They voting with both face.
Yes. About 5, right?
Submitting Okie McOakface.
So I guess we'll come back to Niska Day
Yeah.
in a minute. So we've got our tree names. Planning projects, tenant changes, lighting upgrades, Mohawk Commons. What's that, Laura?
Actually, that's what we were just talking about from the minutes. I'm just not keeping that off until we get a submittal.
Oh.
We still haven't gotten a submittal, so hopefully. She reached out again and,
It's like, isn't that, aren't they just like not doing what they're asked?
yeah. And she keeps saying, but they don't want to plant trees, and I keep saying, well, come up with an alternative
bad.
planting plan. I mean, you're required by the planning board to have a planting plan that's approved by the tree council, and you don't have that yet, so.
Yeah, they're kind of caught in the middle a little bit, right?
They are, and she's getting frustrated
Plan
because
for-
they've reduced their site plan to the point where it's really just swapping out a couple light fixtures. But I can't overrule the planning board, and they said that it needs a planting plan, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Yep, so that one I'll just stay until we get some closure on it out.
Well, on to reports. First of all, thank you everyone for participating in Arbor Day. I
Oh,
think it-
you did a great.
I think it worked out well in spite of when we first saw the baseball people, but I think we hit a whole new target audience. We-
It was great to see the kids coming out of their picture and then wanting to go around and explore and like
Yeah.
the number of kids walking up to me going, I want a tree. I'm like, do your grown-ups want a tree? There's gonna be a 20 to 40-foot tree.
And all the
I was
participants,
Magnolia, but it's just.
yeah. But those participants seem to want to come back.
Good.
Yeah,
Nice.
and Holy Creek, she said she really enjoyed it and hopes to come back.
Great.
Because I was, wondering how that was gonna work out in Maine and
but she had just like a steady enough. So,
Customer that she felt like it was worth it for her
yeah, she
coming.
definitely
Oh,
did,
good.
yeah, so.
And like even with the bad weather, everybody was out, was excited, it gave me so many trees. And it was so
We didn't
wonderful.
have any left over, did we?
No, actually, I didn't.
This
I
is the
didn't take
first
over
time in a
trees.
while
either.
Yeah.
Wow.
where we're not calling the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts like,
No, no extra trees. Well, we had 2 tiny spruce trees that I gave to Jim at that.
Okay. And, we had 375, was that?
Yeah, what was our?
We lost, we didn't get the maple, so I wasn't quite
We didn't
sure.
get the maples, so we were probably at 3. I'll have to get you the final numbers.
Mm,
I'm putting it in my- so,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Margaret.
Well, it was, we had the number 375, but then when some got stolen,
Well, some got stolen, but they swapped us out equally. The weird thing that happened is they told us that they changed the species and then they marked it up on their thing. So I was like, okay, good, fine. And then we came back and we had no red maples.
right, so that's the only one I'm not sure.
So I wonder if like possibly the red maples were stolen and they didn't notice that they were stolen, or they didn't. I have no idea, but yeah,
So should we go with 375? That's what we.
that is what
ordered.
we ordered.
So that's what we'll go with, okay.
Who knows?
Okay.
Tilted in front of it. It's fine.
Also, did the 375 doesn't include the 10 or so oaks that
It does,
caught,
it
right?
does.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Yep,
Okay.
I counted them. So the art contest write-up, I did write something up. But we made a couple changes to it. Yeah, I think if you want to put all the other photos at the end.
I would do. Yeah, okay. Just if you
Entries.
want to peruse everything,
Mhm.
yeah, because it's so
So-
great.
That was so nice that they did that, and that worked out really well. We had 30, was it 30?
Yeah, no, it's 4.
10,
Oh, yeah.
40 altogether.
That anatomical heart one.
In
Yeah,
1 second place.
know.
Yeah.
so, okay, so this next weekend is Niska Day. So we have to figure out what we want to do for
Not
that.
like it's coming, it's the one after.
Yeah,
So
the 17th, Saturday. It's from 11 to 4 and you can set up earlier. I think Chet and Tony, you said you're be able to, can anyone else, like if we could get 4 people, that would only be an hour apiece.
I think, I thought Margaret said she
Yeah.
was in.
I believe I can.
But then she said, then I thought
She
she
wanted
said she
to
was,
step
she
down.
was
Yeah.
gonna be organized. But
I have a funeral, and I'm not sure
I
when
can do
during
it.
the day. Okay.
2 or something.
Tell me what.
So we've got Chet and Tony. You think you can do?
I might be able, yeah, I'm checking to see. I think I probably would be able to do a, morning. The one of the early slots or help set up or something.
Okay, because if we did 4 people, it would be an hour and 15 minutes apiece. 11 to 12:15, 12:15 to 1:30, 1:30 to
2:45.
We math really good.
well, I
And
figured
then
it out.
2:45
to 4.
4. No, it's not. It's an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay, yeah, so that, now, the first person, do we have time? So Jeff, do you want to do the early one?
Yeah.
At 11?
I'll do the second one.
Okay, so that's 11 to 12:15. Amy, and I'll send this out. 12:15 to 1:30. Who wants to, the last person will have to kind of just take down what we have left.
I was gonna ride my bike, so. that
Okay,
probably
so
won't
maybe
work.
you wanna, would it be okay if you did the
Closer? Yeah, that's fine.
32, 30?
You do get a parking pass if you want to drive your car to help the stuff take down. So like if you do set up, maybe just put the parking pass on the table
Sure.
so that he can have it when he comes back.
What will I have to do to set up?
Yeah, well, that's what we need to talk about since we've been planning with Arbor Day so much.
Do we have handouts that we can
We have
do?
handouts.
We'll have the voting for our tree name. I'm willing to dig up some more little trees in our yard. I could do like 50 or
People love
60,
that.
but I need little pots.
I have pot, like what size, like 3-4 inch?
Yeah,
things?
3 inch.
Yeah, I have some. I don't know how many. I'll look and let you know. how many.
Okay, yeah, let me know.
I think I have two, so
Okay.
between the two of us.
Okay, and I've also emailed Margaret, because if you think we
Oh,
between
yeah.
the two
Yeah.
can have like 50 or 60? I need them as soon as possible.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna dig them up Friday so that they'll
Mhm.
look good for Saturday. But they'll be like
Something that's wrong.
oak and,
Yeah.
balsam and maybe some maples. if We
Okay.
have some maples in our yard. Just kind of what we have in our woods, so.
Nice. That's
um,
nice.
Yeah, people loved it when you did that. I
Okay,
know it's a lot of work.
okay, yeah, it shouldn't be that bad. We were out looking. We have a lot of white pine. Yeah, so we have a lot.
Yeah,
of
you
little
did the white pines before.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
So, I mean, they're little, but you know, they're free and,
Yeah.
we'll dig them up from our woods. So,
Okay, so you.
yeah, we'll need pots.
Mhm.
The other thing that we did, and I was gonna drive out to one of them where Chet can pull some strings. We had a little tree that we raffled off. So, you know, it's kind of hard to make. We don't want a big one but people seem to
We
like
did
that.
one year we did a butterfly bush and then we decided.
We did the butterfly bush at the farmer's market. We did like
We did a plum one year. Didn't we have
we
a
only did it one year. We did like a service.
to choose the right audio apps.
Okay.
Well, we did like a small service berry or something, just a little. So I'll see if we can do, you know, if there's something small, because people are gonna be carrying it. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's worth it.
I could look for something too, so we need
And then we did the
giveaway, right?
raffle, you know, at like 3:00, 3 or 3:30. People came back and then took the tree with them. So, but small carrot.
You just use the tickets, is that you just give people a ticket, is that? what-
Yeah, whatever, yeah, we can
Yes,
work
we
with
got
you
the
about,
tickets again.
so we'll need tickets for write-ins for our votes for our
Yeah,
name. And we'll need like handouts about tree council.
Mhm.
We'll have the little tree giveaways. And then we'll have a
We
raffle.
still need a magnet.
Oh, magnets would be good.
I think we
So
still.
I can come and get the stuff on Friday,
Okay,
but I don't know if I can bring 50 trees.
I know. Well, they'll be in, I hope,
like 20.
flats. Yeah, do we have any?
I probably have flats. I buy a lot of plants.
Okay.
I can look.
Cause I would think we could get them in like 4 flats.
Okay. Well, I do have station.
I was gonna say, you have, like the photocopier box lids, those would be the right size.
I think I have a
Like
couple of those plastic
flats.
flat things.
As long as I don't have to watch my Girl Scouts, I can probably come and help you. That out there.
And I may be able to help early, I just can't late, so.
So.
Yeah.
You said something about parking passes. This is, you drive into where the soccer fields are.
Mhm.
But usually the public can't because the
Yeah.
police stop you.
So,
Yeah, so how do they
yeah,
get
how do I get them
Yeah.
in there? If the pass is
So
sitting on the table.
If you're not a setup or a take, oh, I see.
It would be the takeout.
Well, yeah, but you're gonna have to come before you can take it out. You can't have your car there during the tents. You can only pull your car up. Drop the
So
stuff
how
off.
do they get there to man the table? Is what they're
Yeah, you just
asking.
have to park where normal people park and then you walk to the tents.
And where is,
Take down.
Then you go get your car and you bring your car back.
Part of the doctor's office lot, just kind of next door to the school.
JCC.
Yeah.
The JCC walk across the street.
We're talking about the Zenner soccer fields or whatever, behind the dog.
Behind Craig Elementary School.
but there's supposed to be a lot of people there. But there is
But
parking.
early in the end might be the best times to try to find parking.
Yeah, you can, usually I think you can park
By the end of
at the medical office buildings or at the JCC. And then a lot of people walk pretty far actually, because they stay for the fireworks. You have never been to Niska Day?
But you're gonna ride.
Yes, that's why, yes. Yes, yes. It's gonna come down the bike trail.
You can, that's what I do.
But he won't be able to,
Yeah,
he's gonna.
No, and if I'm helping you bring the plants, I can.
Yeah, but he's taken down.
Yeah,
So-
but well, hopefully all the plants will be gone.
Yeah,
Who,
yeah.
who brings the table on, like, do you have to?
They
bring
have the
table?
tables.
Did we register?
Yeah, we registered.
Okay.
Oh,
Do we have a table for?
Yeah.
Anything with our name?
We can use my Girl Scout table cloth.
So you just-
No, it's just green. Cause it's Girl Scouts.
It's just green. Okay.
We like green, it's very thematic.
Yeah.
well, you know, you threw away all those plastic ones. for
I
the-
told my people not to throw
Well,
them.
you know, I folded them all up and had them in a nice pile, and Trish came in and she says, oh, we never keep these, and she
Oh,
folded them up and shoved them in the
Yep.
trash.
I bought them with all my own money.
Oh. When I wiped them all down. So,
Supposed to be named.
yeah, well,
Think of anything, well, I think the draw, we'll have free giveaways, we'll have magnets, we'll have brochures.
Do we have to sign at some time to say what we are, or is it kind of?
I just have to go look, cause we've done it a bunch of times. I think we
We've only
basically.
done it once or twice,
Oh,
because
really?
it's been right after.
It's right after Arbor Day, so a lot of times we just
When we didn't have a large tree council, it was like we were just not ready to do this.
Yeah.
A couple of
Is,
times.
is there any, money for us to create some sign that we can keep from year to year when we take ourselves on the road, or?
Spent quite a bit on Arbor Day this year.
Yeah.
No, well, my money and town money. I actually spent on Arbor Day this year.
Let's see what I can do, because I know some people who work with wood.
Something that just sits on the table like a card, a
It's like
tent
that,
card,
vertical.
something that just says Niski and a tree council.
Yeah.
What about some of those beautiful things that those high school students make? Did they go,
Oh,
they take
yeah.
it back?
They wanted a bat.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, but they said they'd do it next year.
I know,
I
but
know.
Yeah,
they would have been.
if we coordinate with her, we could get them earlier and have them up in town hall, like for a month ahead of time.
Mhm.
Or something to build momentum to
Yeah.
Arbor Day.
Definitely need a banner.
Yes,
Yeah.
At the
Yes.
various events.
yes. How much do they cost? How much do banners
It
cost?
just depends on what size.
Yeah, it depends on the side. I know we've gotten some for theater things, and let me ask, my partner has all the contact stuff.
I could look, but sometimes we get things for free and sometimes, I mean, like next year, it'll probably be a lot cheaper, but I bought the stickers this year. I bought the Girl Scout crafts this year. I bought,
The prices.
no, oh yeah. Well, that was my personal money though. I don't.
Oh.
The town money, I have to kind of spread the miscellaneous budget across the whole entire year.
Yeah.
So maybe a tree banner next year. But we do have the Niski at Niski Trees, Tree Council at Niski Tree sign that you can have hanging down with the green.
Yeah,
That would be
good.
perfect.
Okay, That would be good. We'll have to tell Faith how many years you're using that.
They just
She
want
just
to
can't
carry
read
it.
it.
I know, but they're nice.
And it did look like we got more people signed up for the Instagram.
Well, because I told Jim if he's gonna give away a raffle ticket to have him sign up for the Instagram.
Right.
I appreciate that. I am,
So it looks like we're at 75 now,
yay. Okay, cool. I'm gonna
around 70. Yeah.
make sure that we're posting these at least.
And we should do these
Stuff.
art contests.
Yes,
Mm.
absolutely. The problem is trying to get the files from like in a doc down to the photo stuff.
So in the email that I did a lot of work on this actually because I
Okay.
really like art. In the email that I sent you, there's a link to a Google Drive. The
Yay,
Google
okay.
Drive has each art labeled with the name of the artist and the like a description of what the art was.
And then, yeah, so you can just see here and then go to the Google Drive and
Okay,
download.
that's cool. Cause I was like, I'm trying to get that with fidelity. I've been using all of my school accounts on like photo stuff in Canva almost entirely for trees. Like, I'm like, well, no, see, I'm practicing. So that, and so I just started taking like a Pixlr professional development, and all of the things that I'm practicing are trying to do things like get these photos and enhance them and make sure that we're getting like the right colors on stuff.
Oh, good.
So I've been taking extra professional development for work.
Using this as practice.
applying it all entirely.
I still don't really understand how to use Instagram, but I'm gonna try harder so I can see it.
Yeah, if you, I will,
See what, here's the Google Drive. It's
okay. That's
It's actually the number that they were there, so.
The artwork's gonna get posted, because maybe that could even get someone else interested in
Separately, so that I
using it, or they're
not-
or something.
Yeah.
Just
like share on this screen, but
great,
so right now and just be like, hey,
Yeah, I will.
and Sarah, look at this. So then that way I'll have it in mind directly.
Thank you.
Before
Thanks
you
for the
jump
post.
off, I know that we should have.
I'm trying.
Great.
During
Every
every day summary, I noticed that it was in the minutes. Was a note sent to Kulaks and Fatigans from the tree
Yeah.
councils? It was?
Courtney did that, thank you. She's out.
Oh, she did. That's fabulous. Okay, great. Thank you.
We could do another one though.
Was it a note to them or was it just a post?
Under the post.
Okay, so she did a post on the town Facebook page
Yeah.
and she had the logos from each for Fatigans and
Oh,
Kulak
yeah,
and a
Like,
big.
don't get the, wouldn't it be nice to send them like from the tree council and tell them where they're planted?
Yeah,
and-
and I can take a picture and stop over there and say thanks again in person and say,
And just give them
your tree is right next to our gazebo and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send them a nice little like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a really
yeah,
good
like,
idea.
wish it were, yes.
Yeah.
Postcard of
Anytime I think.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
They just really
Thank
give
you
them
for
all
the
kudos for that.
I can do that. I'm happy to do that. Somebody was just mentioning a handwritten note.
Or a letter or just something that thanks them. I don't know. I don't know. What do you usually do when people give you gifts? Nothing.
No.
Oh,
just
I don't mean
thank
nothing. I don't mean nothing. I mean that.
I mean, that would be certainly a nice touch. They asked for some visibility and we put it out on the Facebook page.
You did an
It's on
email
the
push.
It's on Instagram.
With links to their
I'm sure those
websites.
trees are on the Instagram. No, I'm on Instagram.
But maybe if we did go, like you said, just go over there, the picture and thank them. Yeah,
And you say that they're mentioned in the,
and this thing too.
Also, again, link to their websites on there, which I didn't.
they are hyperlinked. their
You
name
can link their name to the
to their-
website.
Yeah, so that was.
That was
So,
great.
now, I don't know that we can go to the well every year. I just discovered Schultz's greenhouse.
I love
yeah.
Chilton.
I've never been there. The guy's like, we've been here since 1960.
Oh, yeah.
Where have you been?
One in
Uh,
Glenville?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
That's
know.
all done.
So,
Oh, yeah.
they have trees over there.
They mainly have plants.
Yeah, I think it looks like.
Little
a plant.
trees.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a nice grab out.
So,
Yeah. They're-
so anyway, I don't know about going back to the well every year.
Right.
Every other year, maybe, but these two trees look great. I'm so happy it's raining. You may see me out here with a bucket of water.
Yeah, try
because
that too.
they
I don't
can
want them to
take it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last.
I pretty much the other one's better, but I didn't realize that they had turned the sprinkler systems
Well,
off.
that's what, so I just happened to drive down Hedgewood Lane and there's the gang planting the black gum. So that's how that picture
Okay,
happened.
I was gonna ask
I
about
was
that.
going on to do an errand and I said, I'm gonna stop by Hedgewood because it's right around the corner for me and see if that tree ever got in the ground. And sure enough, there they were. So the timing was incredible.
Perfect.
Yeah.
They look very happy.
They couldn't have been nicer. And they had to move the tree over a little bit from where it was staked because once they started digging, there was a big tree root there. But I thanked these guys. I
Yeah.
said, this is fantastic. Let's do more of this. And
Yeah.
they're
I think they like
who is
you.
this guy?
Thank you. I
They were
like
great.
you.
And we have to thank Ray when we see him.
Yes.
And we did that post too, thanking the highway department.
Yes.
Do they like chocolate chip cookies? I'll make them chocolate chip cookies.
Definitely.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, yeah, always gonna give them.
Sometimes when I used to, I don't do it as much anymore, but when they did a lot of plowing, I'd make them cookies. They'd love it.
Do that. I'll talk to you when it's a good time. For it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
Anything.
It makes me really happy.
Excellent.
Just
They're
to get back,
happy.
Turkey eaters.
They look like it.
I did want to just bring up the day of service on June seventh. Laura, did you get something? You should have.
I
gotten an
did.
Email. Okay.
I need to respond to them.
Yeah, with the,
Yeah.
they're asking what we want to do and where we need, how many volunteers. So what I was hoping, that we could, how is people's mornings? I was gonna say tomorrow morning, but tomorrow it's supposed to pour. But I wanted to meet out at the splash pad and figure out how many trees we could plant and what we needed. And are we buying the trees, Laura?
I think we can, yeah.
Okay, so we can figure out, I think you can put like 6 or 8 trees there by the splash pad. There's a lot of room.
How big is the tree?
We're gonna do
Well,
smaller ones because we were
Yeah, I was
gonna.
gonna say, we're doing this by hand, right? We're
Yeah.
digging the hole.
Right.
I think so.
And then, they're gonna help get volunteers to help, be the manual labor. And so are people available on June seventh?
And this is the Niskuna Community Foundation.
Foundation,
Yeah.
That's a
Thursday.
Saturday, right?
It's a
Ray was
Saturday.
happy to help those guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would he do? Would he help dig the holes?
Well, if they're small, I mean, do we need him to? Cause if it's a community day, I mean, don't people need work to do?
Right, they do.
Yeah,
So,
so I would say no.
Okay.
Right? As long as he's okay with the spots and he says yes,
okay,
and we buy the trees, I think that we should dig the holes and plant them.
We probably should do a Jeff Corbin approved staking, of where these trees are gonna go.
right. So I
Uh,
think when we go out next week, we can put in
Yeah.
stakes and then call them, and then Ray can approve them.
Right.
So
Mhm.
does anybody have any time next week? In the morning, I was hoping. The only time I can't do it is Tuesday. Because once we do that, then Laura, you could order the trees right away, small trees.
I can do Tuesday or Thursday early, like before 10.
Talking about the week of May 12th there,
Yeah.
you said Tuesday?
Said Tuesday wasn't good.
Oh,
Well,
Tuesday.
I think I could do it before 10 also. So,
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, Tuesday's fine, the 13th is fine,
do you want to do Tuesday at 9 a.m.? Would
We
that
do.
work? That would give us an hour. Oh, Laura, how about?
I can do 9, but I have a meeting at 10, so I can't stay.
It's not gonna take very long.
Yeah, I wouldn't
No.
think so. So we'll meet at the splash pad in
Okay.
Ronick Park at 9 a.m. on Tuesday.
Okay.
And figure out what trees we should plant. And then if you guys could keep the 7th open. It kind of signing, we gather at town hall at 8:30 and it's 9 to 12 of the planting. And I don't think it's gonna take that long with volunteers and us to plant.
June 12th?
No, June 7th.
June 7th.
Ah,
is
June
the-
7th.
This is. Who's the organization?
So it's the Niskuna Community Foundation.
Okay,
And it's their 25 years of, their 25th anniversary. And they wanted to give back to the community and do a day of service. And have various day of service projects. And
Mhm.
I thought planting trees
Oh,
would be a
yeah,
great
no, it's
day
good.
of service
is
project.
this the group that just got the big donation from the woman?
Yeah,
Oh,
Is-
yeah.
is
Is
about
that
it.
50,000 big ones or something?
Yeah, yeah.
That was really
Nice.
impressive.
yeah. Her husband founded the foundation with the other person,
Was it June 12th?
June
June
7th.
7th.
June
It's a
7th.
Saturday.
What time?
8:30 at town hall.
I am unavailable.
You are not, okay.
It'll be in Yellowstone.
Oh, well, that's a good. So we've got Jeff and we've got Chet.
Yeah. And we're basically at town hall, we're just rounding up.
Rounding
stuff,
up.
And then we're going off to the splash pad.
Right, exactly. But you get your t-shirt. Everybody gets a day of service t-shirt.
Yes, so.
So I think, should I put 8 to 12?
8:30 to 12.
8:30 to 12. And then there's gonna be like 15 different service projects, but we would be on the tree planting.
Yes, we did. Excellent.
Okay, so.
And I don't think 6 trees is gonna take that long
Yeah.
to volunteer, so we can be done, but although I think you can go back and I'm not, don't quote me on this, they may have like lunch or something. Back at the town hall.
Well, this is again, this is, photo op central.
Yeah.
While it's happening after the fact for Facebook,
Exactly.
Instagram.
Green Foundation is really gonna be publicizing this
Agreed,
of all,
agreed.
they're gonna do a lot of, publicity on this.
Good.
And they're the grand marshals of the Niska Day Parade this year, so
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be a full thing. So, what we can do is take pictures too of our tree planting.
What trees are we plant? What type of trees?
Well, that's what we have to
Gotta decide
decide.
on
We
that.
want good shade trees for the
Yeah,
people
not
sitting on the
oaks.
benches.
I remember this is last time.
So the care and feeding of these trees.
Good.
So Linda, a few months ago, talked about 2 sickly looking trees by the parking lot at Blatnick.
Berries.
And they're about 6 to 8 feet tall and they have a little live growth on them, but they are hanging on by a shoestring. So who waters these things? Is the town? Is it up to us? Who?
It's supposed to be the town. And I have that free water tank that nobody has picked up.
Every tree needs a-
What was the name of the?
Well, you
that
know
sent
what?
it, Carol, do you remember?
Maybe it was Nick. It was,
No, they sent the email about the,
it should come from like a NIST unit. It's a global address. It's
oh,
a,
it is?
yeah.
I know.
Yes, we
But
can plant all these
because I'll
trees.
forward that to Ray and Aaron. Ray already told me that he was okay with it when
Okay.
but
But
I'll
I don't know
forward it
what
to them and I
they're
can.
gonna have to do.
Aaron was very interested in the watering truck, but hasn't been able to connect, I think, to Ray.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, but I'm not sure what the highway department will have to do that Saturday, because we're getting volunteers.
No, I know,
They're
I'm
just
talking
gonna
about getting on the watering truck.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes.
I'll just get we need the approval of the locations and then I'll talk to him again about the
Is
water.
there a place to, so there's the splash pad there. Is there a faucet? Is there something that you can attach a hose
Well,
to
there's
to
they
water
have
these trees?
restrooms there so that they have running water, right? That's pretty close to, and
And I
There is
thought, well, they used to, they didn't have to go off the public road, like
They can share-
Rotary or something could water them.
Oh, yeah, they have offered to do that.
So-
before.
So we could maybe,
I don't know how they do it, but
I wonder if we could get, groups to adopt trees.
well, speaking of the Rotary, and I mentioned this before, that I know we're off topic though. I can save it for another time. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just have to
Yeah.
make watch
Yeah.
the time. And we
Right.
have two more
So I don't know,
subcommittees.
I only think I have a couple stakes left, so who makes the stakes? If we want to stake them up on the
But,
Tuesday,
get some more steaks.
okay.
Are you coming there?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
come.
And you'll bring the stakes?
I
or-
will bring them.
Okay, so that'll be great. We'll get another 6, 8 trees planted.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Excellent,
And
excellent.
if we can think of another little place nearby, we could.
You know what, and that's what I was gonna say, you know that
Did we?
the Balltown Road, River Road, there just before Craig, there's this island there and it says Rotary Gardens, that is, nothing ever is planted in there.
No, but it is there.
I fished them last year. It's a little
Okay.
better now.
Oh, because I mean, if you could get a tree, small trees in there and then
But
they,
you have to watch from a safety standpoint. That's kind of tough.
Because of
with
the
this
State
issue.
is a little weird about.
is that what it's about? Shrubbery? Can you put could we put some soft
But
shrub?
when we're at the
shrubs in there?
splash
You
pad,
pretty
you
much
can
can't-
see there's another
The
couple
state is
places.
like-
Let's do that on Tuesday.
Oh, really?
I'm actually good how the Universal Club gets away with the gardens, actually.
Okay. It really is a very sad looking intersection.
They trees in the Rotary, that they put across the bridge.
Yes, you're right. There are trees in, yeah, there are trees in there.
Yeah.
Just even like little shrubs.
Keep dying though,
So-
and cars keep hitting me.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
To the
Oh.
tree inventory and tree master
Yeah.
plan? We haven't finished that yet.
No, I'm sorry. I've been working a lot on tree council stuff, but I
Right.
haven't been able.
You were gonna just send that out, although, Amanda, who was gonna be the first one, was
I
like.
was thinking about her today.
We had it in order. She was gonna make her changes and then pass it on to Margaret and then me. So if you could get that out before she comes back. from
Yeah.
vacation, okay. And then the tree planting subcommittee, spring planning.
Yes, so I've started my own Excel sheet on what I think has gone in the ground
Okay.
since the first of the year. So just to tick through this really quickly, the Quanzon cherry at Town Hall, the red bud at Town Hall, 906 Randall Road, we think that's a service berry.
Mhm.
All right,
And count the white oak. at
yeah,
town.
Town Hall, White Oak, have that.
Town Hall 2 ginkgos.
No, I don't have that.
Yeah,
Town Hall.
Yeah.
2 ginkgos.
yeah, because there were 2 dead trees and I had them put the dead trees in there and
Yeah,
then
that-
officially adopting them so they don't die.
That I don't have. And they went in around the same time. that the
Yeah,
other
you walked
ones?
past them actually when you came. I'm not sure that you noticed, but we put sourwoods there and they just seem to be very sensitive trees. We have left every single sourwood we planted. They all die.
Oh.
So I'm hoping the ginkgos will do better and I'm gonna watch them and water them.
So the rest of my list, 1013 Millington Road, got a service berry. 1018 Millington Road, black gum. 1917 Mayfair Road, I think was the guy you went back and forth with. I think he still ended up getting a white oak.
Oh, I sent him a service berry. He was supposed to get a service berry.
Okay, well, this is where I'm starting to, because
Wait.
I'm trying to keep up with all the emails.
Wait, I'll
When
tell you
the
what.
homeowner says, well, I met with these nice people, but, and I said, I don't, but I wanna,
They might have planted the
all right, so that's, I'm just trying to figure that one out. And then the last one was 1119 Hedgewood Lane, and that guy got a black gum tree. And that was the one I took the photos of.
Okay, so I have,
1917 Mayfair Road. It's right on the corner, of Mayfair and Millington.
Oh, yeah, that was that guy who was very excited. Yes.
okay, 1917 Mayfair, he's supposed to have a service berry. And you have 1013 and 1018 Millington.
Yeah, it's 1013
Service
Millington got
berry.
a service berry, 1018 got a
Black
black gum. And then I saw an email,
119 Hedgewood was black gum.
and then I saw an email from the couple that we met with on, maybe it was Highland Park, who said we didn't get our paperwork in by April 15th.
Yeah, so we're gonna try and plant that one in the fall.
Okay,
Because we're out of trees, because they
Yeah.
planted a white oak at 2060 Coolidge. That was the one they identified themselves. I don't know where it came from.
that one.
Yeah, so
What's-
Highway called and they were out and said, someone asked them for a tree and they would plant a white oak there.
And so they've already done it?
I think so. We haven't verified
What's
it.
the address?
Initiative.
Yeah.
That's
That's
right.
what I
I
wanted.
wanna push it, then I'm gonna have one on my phone. Yeah,
The
so
address?
2060 Coolidge,
2060 2060
white oak, yeah,
Coolidge?
Coolidge. And then you have the 906 Randall.
Wait a minute. What was the next one?
Well, you
Oh,
have the
Rand,
906
yeah,
Randall.
906 Randall Service Berry.
And then the town hall got the 2 ginkgo. So it should be 10, it actually should be 12.
12 on the ground already?
Nice.
Woo.
Right?
Quarter of the way there.
I have 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2. 8 plus 2 is 10 and 11.
You have the town hall Arbor Day, yeah, you do.
You guys are all the tree planning.
Uh-huh.
Go team.
Oh, wait, I only have 11. We have an extra tree somewhere though, because we ordered 10, didn't we?
We ordered 10 and that's,
And then you got 2 donated.
all right. certain heights.
So now are you gonna move on?
No,
to the
that's
next?
I hope to. We should still be able, it's still not too late, right, to get some more in?
It goes.
Yeah.
It was in 3 service areas.
Say what?
That's what we ordered.
Given the weather, I mean,
Turned your heat off yet?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we planted all the trees that we got. Yeah, we're good.
So what we've done in the past is we've had, this time we had the trees and then we kind of said,
Yeah,
You
that
have to
would,
choose
that
one of
was,
these.
that made it hard with the neighbor. Normally we let them pick.
yeah, normally we give them a big list and they can tick and then we order the trees. So, you have that list from before with Amy that these guys have?
They haven't.
I don't think I
I
have,
don't
but I
think-
think we did limit to some extent.
We gave choice of 10, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you
yeah,
have
you
that?
don't want it to be too
No,
much.
do you guys have that list though?
No.
It was just on the letter that we gave to Dean Street or Region. It was Region.
Right, but these guys don't.
Yeah, okay.
And then that's the list of 10.
So
And-
are we, do you think this highway department would plant some more before the?
Not in the summer.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but,
Not in
yeah,
the
but it's,
summer?
but it's only May 10th.
I
May
think they're
8th.
done with their, I think they're done with their spring planting. I think
Wow.
that's- But the reason that he pushed me so hard to have you guys do it so quickly was because he wanted to do it before they were doing their lawn pickup. They started their lawn pickup now.
Well,
I can ask.
well, so we're
I don't think
gonna,
they're planning-
how many trees are we planting on June 7?
Well, we're gonna see how many we can plant.
Okay, 5 or 6 trees.
Well, at least 5 or 6. I
Okay.
think if we have a group of, how many, if we have small trees.
Yeah.
How many can we plant in 3 hours?
You can easily get 6 trees.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
So like,
Depends on how big the group balls are.
okay.
Let's not go more than like.
And what the digging is like there. too.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to get the climate, the high school students in the Rotary. Well, they're supposed to come up with volunteers, but we have,
So I don't know what Jeff's thinking. I mean, I'd like to, with Jeff and Tony, pick another neighborhood and do a little door knocking like in June and try to get another 5 or 6 trees in the ground.
that's a terrible time to plant.
Yeah, they don't,
June? Yeah.
they don't really plant in the summer.
It's
I mean, I know it's warm and
it's hot
well, I
and
mean,
it can be dry.
July and August, I would say those are out.
But if we knock on doors in June, they're not gonna get in the ground until the end of June. Because we have to have like the 2-week turnaround. We put the stakes in the ground and then the utilities come and look, and by then it's July.
Yeah.
But the guys in the highway, because highway does a lot of summer work, they don't plan for planting trees in the summer.
what if you do it then and say they're gonna plant in fall?
Yes.
The problem is the stake.
Yeah, that's
The
the
stakes in the
problem.
ground all that time, and in fact, the utility thing doesn't last that
Right,
long.
right.
So
The
when
thing-
would we pick up again? If we're not gonna do it in June, July and August, in September?
The thing you could do, because it takes a little while to get them back, is you could do letters and having people pick out what they liked. And then we could start collecting the letters of the people who picked out the trees of what they liked.
And say we're gonna.
And
do
then
it
in fall, we've already knocked on their doors and talked to them,
Yeah.
so we could just put the stake out.
Yeah.
Because that that is kind of a longer part of the process.
Right.
And when Pete said, hey, can you have these things staked in like 2 weeks? I was like, are you
Well, you know, actually, so that makes me wonder, frankly, it's an enormous amount of legwork that the 3 of us are doing.
yeah.
Like if we mailed it out to 25 people and got like 25% response,
That was
great.
really,
It would actually be far more efficient for us to actually know which houses we're going to have already said they want a tree and what.
yeah, we
And you
could
can
do
say you
that.
follow
So
up
we
with
could
them.
do the balance in the summer and then actually have people that have responded to us picked out the tree, and then in the fall, you're literally just meeting with them and staking them rather than canvassing the
Yeah,
neighborhood.
that's good. That's good.
We could do that. So the tree planting subcommittee can pull out that list and target, you know, I think at least 20 addresses for a mail out. And Linda and I can do that
Uh,
with the original letter that had like the
All right.
10 trees.
so
Yeah.
realistically,
Cause we're already leaving them at people's doors anyway.
Yeah, and they're not bringing them back.
Well, no, but some people do,
Some
like,
people do,
like,
yes.
it's.
Yeah,
I don't
and some
think it's the
people
fact
need
that they
time.
necessarily see us in person.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
How many trees can we get in the ground in the fall? Realistically, given that, you know, these guys still have stuff to do going on in the fall.
Yeah, we've done
Leaf
10.
pickup and all
Remember,
that.
our goal is 40 trees.
Yeah.
So that means,
Let's try 2 rounds of 10. And then we have the,
I think if you got this all set up with the people, then you could say whenever you have a free
Mhm.
time, here's the first 10, that's the second
Mhm.
10.
Well, that's the-
could we really hope to get another
I think if we have
28?
them all set up and we stake them, they are definitely willing to plant them faster. I learned that already this spring.
except that Ray told us that he didn't need people. He didn't need any money because the highway department was gonna be able to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So 2 rounds of planting is pretty bare minimum.
It is pretty darn minimum. But I'm just saying, like, so we have 11 now plus those. And then if we could, maybe we can even shoot for 3 rounds of 10, so 30 in the fall. If we have them all
Yeah.
set up to go.
I think, tell Ray, we're gonna do this twice. We're gonna have 2 rounds of 10, so start planning for that now.
Yeah,
Because you said that you have this under control.
yeah.
I'm with you, I'm with you.
I'm still trying to get that one memorial tree planted,
Oh, yeah. No, I know. He said that'd be okay too. It just,
but when? I mean, cause I wanna let people know that it's effective.
I know.
Is that something down at the Rowan?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, see you, Jeff.
I will share the email. I think it's ready to go.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you guys take a note of that.
Okay.
See ya. Adios.
There is one person who's
Go.
interested in joining them.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't he gonna come tonight?
He was, but then he emailed me that they had a meeting, so maybe he'll come to the next one. He came to Arbor Day.
See you, Jeff.
He's willing to help in any way. He's an IT, runs his own IT company, so he could
Oh, yeah.
take over the website too, but he loves trees.
Oh, other last update, the high school club guy, Michael Peters. He was teaching his kids how to plant trees in the right of way, and they met and started all the roads and everything. Got approval for the plant sycamores over at Kelt's farm.
I
So-
called Smart.
Why
They're
are they
about-
playing with high school?
Oh, they are planting in
Oh,
high school
oh,
too.
oh,
But the high school, he was really sad because he let the kids pick out the spots.
Oh,
And they really wanted to plant them between the parking lot and Balltown Road, and the
Yeah.
high school said no to that. But they are planting some at the high school, and then they're planting some in Kelt's farm. And I believe he planted them on Saturday, so I just need to follow up with him.
Yeah, we need to track that
Yeah,
and
Okay.
location
And
and
publicize
type of
it.
tree and, yeah, but I mean, that all
Yeah.
goes on this list of what we've accomplished in
Yeah.
2025. even if
Although we didn't really do it.
no, it was a lot of work for me.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay,
working on it.
okay.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Originally, I was designated to be the one to work with the high school, and then I think they felt like I overpromised how many trees could be planted, so then I got reined in, and then I got a very specific, okay, 10 trees a year, but he really likes the sycamore, so.
Well, that's
That's
fine.
So I think he's gonna run this in his class every year, but they limited me and him to planting 10.
Can you give me his contact? Cause I'd like to see if they could help on the day of service. And
Yeah.
then we could plant a few more somewhere.
This was his class, and he bought the trees himself, actually, but I can give you his contact anyway, he's great.
See, that's different than the climate warrior.
It is different, yeah.
But I mean, it sounds like some people in his class, I mean, because high school students can come on the day of service.
Very excited about trees. He's supposed to be out there planting. And he's planting them along the bike path in Kelt's Farms, so that this, eventually the sycamores will grow up and over,
Nice.
and it'll be nice and shaded.
is that the one across from Blackman?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, that needs some shade,
And the
some
little
help there.
walkways where they're planting.
Yeah, so they're planting them along, when you come down from Windsor, then they're planting them around the gazebo, then a little bit farther down the walkway too. And then along the back where there were some big oaks that fell down, he's gonna fill in with sycamores.
Oh, that'll be,
So you have to get approval to do this.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
He did,
right.
a long
So they-
time.
and
Yeah.
Ray's letting them pick the holes.
Yeah, well, they're seedlings, but sycamores grow really fast.
Wow. I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had a question off topic, sort of off topic. Across from the splash pad, is that new development?
That's Kelt's Farm.
Yeah, that's
That's
Kelt's
Kelt's
Farm.
Farm.
Yeah, that's Kelt's Farm.
Yeah.
Well, I was just wondering. Among all those big beautiful houses. Are they,
They're required by planning board to have 2 trees per lot or every 60 feet, whichever is more. So yeah, each of those lots has 2 street trees that have been planted.
I'm happy to report that the row of pines that they
Seems
put
to be
in
doing
along
good.
River Road are alive and kicking.
Yeah, I'm amazed
So
that
I'm
they,
happy about
yeah.
that.
I feel like it should have gone a little bit farther, but
Mhm.
yeah.
That's good. Okay, so that's Kelt's Farm.
Yeah, I mean, those trees take a long time, but if you drive down, he's got any house that has a temporary CO has 2 trees in front of you. So it's an average density development. So they shrunk the lots down and clustered the houses, and that allowed the forest to stay in the back. Otherwise, all that forest would have cleared.
What about that open lot? If you're looking at Kelt's Farm farther down the River Road, right on the,
So that is
About
supposed to
10.
be 2 single-family homes, but they're looking at possibly making it a daycare.
Making it
Oh,
what?
wow.
A daycare.
that's pretty hot. That they cleared.
Oh,
Yeah.
That it will have trees too.
And I still.
Could we, close up and
Yes.
then if you want to keep talking, because there's something on the make of motion to adjourn?
I'm ready to adjourn.
yes, second.
Great, okay, thank you.
Okay, and I will go home and look to see how many flats I have and I will send them. to
Yeah.
you.
I think,
Okay.
well, I'll look for the flats. That sounds.
I have some, I think, I'm pretty sure I have like flats.
Okay,
I like the violin and.
You like to what?
The land scanner.
Oh, yes. Obviously, my hearing